It's somewhat curious that language is the fabric or the soul of human existence and social organization. That's true in every language, in every culture. At the same time, it's a minuscule group who actually study this phenomenon in terms of its science, in terms of its social science, in terms of how it's used and operates in society. That situation leaves a great gap between what the public thinks about language, how they perceive language and its uses, and what the scientific study of language shows us. The question then comes, how do we teach the public about language and its essential traits and characteristics in society? Unless language becomes a part of the media presentation for the general public, we miss out on a critical venue for educating. We have turned to documentaries. They start out as 1-hour specials on TV that we hope some TV viewers will find and actually watch and gain information. They also become primary objects for dissemination in terms of public education. So a documentary becomes a DV, that then becomes a part of a classroom, that then becomes a part of viewing for a civic organization, for universities. In essence, what we found is that they have a lifespan of about 25 years. That's more than what people think of a show that comes on television. One of the advantages of a documentary is that it can become more than a talking head expert. Rather than just a linguist talk about language, you can see language in action. So for example, if the church and preaching is an important part of a social group, you can demonstrate that. If you are involved in music, or if you were involved in some expressive language style, whether it be hip hop or poetry or something, you can see language as it's used in society and not simply hear someone talk about it.
Well, we used to work lines, now we walk them to get unemployment, education, and a chance to live.
A documentary is valid to the extent that a community can see itself. So if we're doing a documentary about Appalachian English, and people from Appalachia can say, oh yeah, that's my grandmother, or that's my community, or we use that word, or we say it that way. That's something that they can relate to. At the same time, an audience that's not from Appalachia says, oh, that's what the community is like. And so in this way, we can bring communities to people who are part of the community and need to know about their own language heritage, but also to other communities so they can share in celebrating that heritage.
I said, lost my cap in Barney's Gap. Where do you think I find it? He said, Titch's hole, God bless me soul, but the rim was torn from around it.
25 years ago, we did our first documentary on Ocracoke, where we tried to present the Ocracoke brogue. We got a couple of students to do a somewhat amateurish, but a sweet and positive story about the Ocracoke brogue. All right, we took it to the community. They loved it. They put it in the room. They ran it on a loop in the Preservation Society for 25 years. Every year, they get 500,000 visitors to the island. About half of them go to the Preservation Society. They see the film, add up the years, and you're talking about several million people who have been exposed to this documentary over the last 25 years and have come to share in the celebration. So that's what a documentary has the potential to do. At the same time, we have newer documentaries, such as First Language, The Race to Save Cherokee, about the revitalization program among Cherokee. And we also have Talking Black in America, that we hope will provide that sort of educational output for at least a couple of decades.
Get you to realize the greatest sound you will ever hear is that of your own voice.